This is our Defender chicken coop from Tractor Supply. We bought 2 chicken coops, and I'll show you the modifications that we did to them. First thing we did is we went ahead and we poured a concrete pad for each one of the coops, just a little bit bigger than the actual coop itself. That way to get them up off the ground. That way the wood will last a little bit longer. It won't corrode it, or it won't get it eaten up by the ground so fast. We also bought the roof. There's a roof that comes with the dog kennel from Tractor Supply, same style of run. And we ended up when we attached the run to the coop, we put the roof that covers the run. Come on in, we'll show you a little bit more modifications. We ended up covering up all of the extra holes, as you can see, just like we've seen in the past with other people that have posted about this coop. The gaps are fairly wide, so we ended up covering all of the gaps with hardware cloth, and we covered the entire bottom with hardware cloth up 3 feet high. And then we also buried hardware cloth, and we went out with it about 16 inches. And we did that around the entire length of the run. What we ended up doing is we poured 2 concrete pads, and we put the coops right next to each other. Then we connected the 2 coops. We connected them in the middle where the 2 runs come together. And what we did when we go inside, I'll show you how we cut a hole so the chickens have basically 2 runs to run in. So let's go inside. As you can see here, this is where we opened up, where the 2 coops joined together right here. What we ended up doing is we cut out the actual steel grate, and I framed it in like this so that the chickens can run back and forth between each coop. These are some structures that we added on this side right here. We took 2 logs out of the woods, we cut them down, we cemented them into the ground, and we made a swing right here on this side. But these logs are completely cemented into the ground. If you notice right here, if you look at this coop right here, what we ended up doing for the ramp for them to get up, you can see we extended the ramp right here. The reason for that is because the coop itself, when we set it on the concrete, it actually set a little bit higher, plus the ground slopes a little bit. So the ramp was pretty steep, and they wouldn't go up the ramp, was what we found out. So we ended up extending the ramp a little bit, and that way it's a little bit softer, a little easier for them to go up. If you notice down underneath here, we've got electrical ran. We ended up running electrical to both sides of the coop. We have an outlet on either coop in case we need the outlet to help clean out or anything like that. And then part of the electrical, we came up here and we ended up putting a motion activated floodlight here on this side, on the back, and a motion activated floodlight there on the front. Let's go around to the other coop. You'll notice we also framed out the doors. This wasn't anything other than the gap on the doors was pretty wide. It was kind of the same gap as right here. So we just felt we didn't want any predators to get in and out, but we couldn't do the hardware cloth because it would have no way to attach to the door itself. So that's why we framed them out. On this side of the coop, or on this run, we ended up same thing. We took a tree from the woods and we cut it down, we cemented it into the ground. This one we took all the way up to help support the roof a little bit. And then off of there, we actually took some branches, we cut some branches, and we screwed it in so they have 2 different sized perches right there. We had to do the same thing over here with this ramp here. It was a little too steep for them, so we ended up extending the ramp a little bit. Same thing on this side, we have electrical over here when we need to help to clean out the coops. Food and water. We don't have any kind of automatic system yet. Our ground sloped a little bit right here, so we had to build this one corner of the coop up a little bit, or this side of the run up. We had to build it up a little bit to make it level. but that's why it's so built up right here on this corner. We didn't change much to the actual coop itself. That's pretty much what you're going to get when you buy it from Tractor Supply. The only modifications we made are inside the coop itself. We ended up bringing the electrical all the way inside the coop. This outlet right here controls two lights up in there. One of them is a heat light and one of them is the light itself. So that's what we did to help the younger chickens, and plus in the wintertime. On this side of the coop over here, this isn't electricity. What we ended up doing right here, we're still trying to get it to work, is that's actually an air compressor nozzle. And the goal is eventually, so we ran the line all the way back to the shop where we have a bigger air compressor, and we'll be able to hook up an air compressor hose here to help clean out the coops as well. You'll be able to have air compressor and electricity. The last thing we did, not part of the coops, is we just moved our shed over a little bit closer right next to it. So we ended up putting all of our supplies for the coop itself inside that shed, so it's right next to both coops. That way everything's a little bit easier to get to, a little bit easier to clean out. You come to the shed, you grab your materials, you clean out the coop, and you move along. So those are our two Defender coops from Tractor Supply with a few modifications. Let us know if you like it.